What's up, chat? I'm not gonna be doing any screaming in Japan, so appreciate it while it's still available. If you absolutely want to hear me scream, I can do muffled whisper screams, ASMR screams, very softly into the mic. I can be like, one last drawing before I die. How's everyone doing, chat? Nothing has happened since I was gone, right? Oh, I opened up Twitter today and they said that the new Katamari Damacy game is going on sale like right now. I feel like as someone who is constantly complaining about the state of modern video games, I kind of have an obligation to play it, but I also have an obligation to draw like 16 hours a day, so that's kind of a problem now, isn't it? Feeling like the husk of a human, so the usual, I guess. Have you considered injecting your body with various forms of human growth hormone? I don't know. When I woke up today, the New York Times front page had an article about how non-medically prescribed testosterone injections are making women feel their sex drives and energy again. And I was like, guys, stop pumping yourself full of artificial testosterone. Just don't fucking do it. Just stop, people. Men and women, but especially women. You're not meant to have a million extra hormones in your body. I'm a millennial raised on the lie of the dairy lobby. Of course I'm full of growth hormone. No, you need the artificially steroid-injected cow milk to make you strong and healthy. It's the only way. Eat more meat, consume animal. But not fish. That would be too healthy for you. The dairy lobby being able to like psyop like every single health program into being like, no, you have to eat cheese. Cheese is an essential part of the diet. Make sure you don't cut the milk. Like whenever they announce like some sort of new health guidelines, they always make sure that it's like, yes, make sure you eat plenty of milk, children. Various milk byproducts. They're an essential source of protein, as if kids already aren't getting like a shit ton of protein in their diet, considering they're being fed dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets every single day. A relative who worked for the dairy lobby on the Got Milk campaign, and it was incredible how much of it was just getting the most prolific celebrity photograph for the milk mustache for a poster, and at work people bought more milk. In general, I think that advertising is a fucking scam because it's almost impossible to tell like if the product sales go up, whether it was actually caused by an advertising campaign or if people were just buying it for other reasons like, you know, product quality or, you know, other economic factors. But the fucking Got Milk campaign that was just like ubiquitous throughout my youth was one of the clear examples where like people actually did respond to the advertising and they're like, good, yes, I must now drink more milk because I was told so by celebrity-san. I need to do my reps for tonight. You guys are making me anxious. Reps of what? In this stream, it could be like one of three things. Reps of your Japanese kanji drills. Reps for whatever drawing exercises. Reps for muscle building. Or I guess the fourth option would be masturbation reps. Your Guna reps. Always the most important of all your reps. The penis pumping reps. Also, if you're a flat female, maybe the breast expansion exercise reps. I like flat anime girl characters who have a complex about their chest flatness, but I like it even more when they take concrete activity to increase their boob sizes by like pushing their arms together so that they strengthen their pecs, or like, you know, kneading their flat chest and being like, someday I will have big boobs. Because it's so sad. The sadness hurts so good and it makes my pee-pee hard. Meanwhile, if I see a guy using penis pump or whatever, or doing like penis lift exercises to strengthen or enlarge his penis, I don't feel that it's cute or endearing at all. This is the difference between men and women. Nobody has any sympathy for small dicklets. You can say that one of the great benefits of having the internet is being able to see video footage of extremely small penises, like hyper micro dicks and stuff, where it's almost combined with the man's body. Those things are kind of fascinating. Guys don't empathize with each other. Neither do women, they just pretend to. Women empathize with each other, but they only do it in terms of like making themselves feel better about empathizing with each other. It's not actually for the benefit of other people. I know because I went through a high school with like 13 girls in our class and like 3 guys. And then the women would like legitimately empathize with each other's problems while they were in each other's company. And then the moment one of the girls would leave the room, they would immediately start shitting on the woman who left the room. And I was like, damn. So this is how it works. I am now a wiser man. I don't think that's true. I heard some girls don't mind small ones. There are different levels of small penises. Micro penis is so small that it's like, it actually gets in the way of having sex. Most women are chill, at least to my face. To be fair, this is a high school we're talking about. Once you're an adult, everybody kind of becomes chill because they don't have fucking time for worrying about other people's problems. It's only in high school in which you see like the knives come out about this shit. But I was lucky enough to go on like a week and a half long senior trip because it was a private high school, and we went to Italy, and all the guys were chill the entire time, and by like day 8 or day 10 of the trip, like one girl was in a wheelchair, not because she had been stabbed or anything, but because she was pretending to victimize herself so she would get more empathy. And then the other girls had like massive fights in the girls' dorm or whatever. I wasn't there to see it because, you know, we were sleeping in different areas, unlike classroom, but That was that just determined my attitude on how I think about female socialization going forward. Really huge dicks mostly impress other dudes. If really huge dicks only impress other dudes, then why is, what is it, Morning Glory Milking Farm a female best-selling novel? Is that the one where they fuck minotaurs? Based on the limited amount of reviews that have been uploaded to YouTube, not only does she fuck minotaurs, but the minotaur is like, you're a strong feminist woman who is in control of her own destiny. And then she's like, yay, and then she also sucks minotaur dick, but yes. I've never said no to a man because his dick was too small. I've never seen a micro penis IRL. I mean, you wouldn't have to say no to the guy, you just wouldn't feel anything with the case of micro penis. As someone who's been on 4chan and as a result seen micro penis videos, I can say that it's like, it's not even like as the size of a finger. It's almost like combined with the body's torso. It's really impressive actually in a way. It's like almost a different organ. Twitch got mad at me about the word retard but not the word dick. New theory, Twitch is being run by Sarah Palin. Also, if we censor dick, how can we ever refer to our favorite president, Richard Nixon? Sex, dick, pussy, fuck, ass, cum, balls. Yes, that's true. I'm very thankful for my genetics. That's all can be said. Honestly, besides dick sizes, you should just be thankful if you don't have like some sort of crippling disease or allergies to literally everything, or, you know, like some sort of weird form of cancer. Spooky. Okay, I have to go take a piss. I drank a shit ton of water before I started the stream, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna have to start pissing like immediately after I start streaming, but that's the way it is, boys. Ah! Alright, I'm back. Yep. You know, I've been kind of reorganizing my life since the beginning of this year. First, I lost about 10 pounds of weight. Then, now I'm trying to I stopped eating sugar, which also contributes to losing weight. Now I'm, trying to not piss in the sink. In fact, I have to not piss in the sink because I'm gonna be, you know, living in an apartment in Japan soon. I'm, timing myself so I get off the toilet within like 8 minutes so I don't further inflame my hemorrhoids. And also, I haven't played video games in quite a while now. All of this comes not from my desire to become an acceptable adult, because I don't really want to become an acceptable adult. I still would rather be a, you know, filthy, neat shut-in who pisses in bottles and plays video games for 24 hours a day, but unfortunately, if I want to become a professional Japanese manga artist, I have to start changing aspects of my life. And part of that is having a relatively healthy lifestyle so you don't get sick, because you're not allowed to get sick if you want to become a pro manga serialized artist, which means you have to eat properly and sleep properly and shit properly. Congratulations, your sink thanks you. Bro, your piss going down the sink isn't that big a deal, guys. People always are like, what? You can't do that. It's like, actually, all the other shit that you pour down your sink, like fucking Drano, and all your, like, breath, what do you call it? The breath drinking shit, alcohol, all the cleaners and stuff is way worse than any kind of piss that's coming out of your bladder, so it's really not a big deal. I still don't see anything really wrong with pissing in the sink. I'm just doing it because I have to maintain social standards. Mouthwash, yes. I just don't want to feel like I'm washing my hands in a toilet. Yeah, but you don't like touch the bowl of the sink. At least I don't. Also, I'm pissing by sitting down on the toilet seat so I don't splash as well. I always considered this to be a humiliating ritual, but again, if you're living in an apartment in Japan, you may as well get used to that stuff. It's a back spray, my brother. My sink is deep, it's fine. None of you is gonna convince me that pissing in the sink is wrong. I believe in my own justice and I go my own way. But unfortunately, at some point I have to return to human society, so... You pissing in the sink is a time-honored tradition. We would never stop you from seeking your bliss. How about instead of pissing in the stink, I just piss my pants every time? I feel like that would be even more powerful. Why use a bottle when you can just wet yourself? I don't think Japan wants that. They already have a lot of that because they have a massive retiree age. Just tons and tons of retirement homes full of old people pissing themselves. 3 best pleasures in life as a man: bumping iron and feeling the burn, having a good nut, sitting at work doing nothing and getting paid. Also, pissing. Long, hard piss after you've been holding it in for a while. Wiping your ass and there's nothing on the paper except blood. Haha, just kidding. Lower on the needs, but lower than cooming. Now that I'm old, cooming isn't as much of a big deal for me anymore. It used to be super important, because like just the amount of semen buildup was pretty bad, but this is also probably because I have very low social social stresses right now. When I'm stressed out from having to go outside and deal with people, my need to coom goes way up. But if I'm alone in my room all the time, I'm like, I don't have to worry about that shit. It sort of goes together. Your balls will refill with energy once you're back in Japan. Being surrounded by Japanese women does elevate my testosterone and semen levels, I'm pretty sure. I think this is the case. I'm always like, yeah, I've lost my sex drive. And then every once in a while there'll be like a mildly attractive woman that shows up at Planet Fitness instead of, you know, horrible ham beast, and I'm like, oh, wait, I think I still have sex drive. Interesting. Interesting how that works, isn't it? Suddenly you see attractive woman, and you're whole, yes, I have reached enlightenment. No more pee-pee gets hard, you know, suddenly is no longer happening anymore. Thing about Japanese women isn't even just the physique, it's that they dress immaculately. Depends on the location. If you're in Tokyo, everybody is like, they're properly fashioned up. That's not the case for everywhere. Also, that's a very female thing to say. Women care about other women's fashion more than men do. Men aren't being like, oh, look at her specific fashion sense, my penis is getting harder. No, they're like, female woman, I must breed with female women. The only time the pee-pee gets harder if it's the woman is wearing specific uniforms, such as high school girl uniform, which indicates increased youth and breeding, or nurse uniform. Nurse uniform is like a cheat code. That's why they had to nerf it. Nobody is wearing the white dress with like skirts and stuff anymore. They're all wearing scrubs and shit. Also, as a man, when you're about to die, when your anus is being probed and stuff, you're like, no, I'm about to die, my prostate is being destroyed, and the nurse is like, it's okay, and holds your hand. Your breeding needs also go up. Your body is trying to, it's in a time of danger, so it automatically tries and leaves its genetics. So it wants to breed with whatever is nearby, so it's like, nurso, I must have sex. Have you ever seen Kyonu Elf Oyako Saimin? Please shut the fuck up. Elf should be flat. Also, you don't need to use hypnosis on elves. We know from experience that once you stick your penis inside the elf even once, they're immediately like breeding ready, so hypnosis should be limited to only to be used on like your school bully or something. You shouldn't waste it on elves. When I was like 17, I had to get blood drawn, and the hottest nurse ever had trouble finding the vein, so she went, I don't know where to poke you, and I just said, same instinctively, LOL. I'm sure that James Bond tier one-liner made her be like, oh, you are so witty and sexy. Thus leading to sexo. Unfortunately, despite nurse outfits being sexy, nurse is one of those professions where it's actually much better to have like a decrepit old nurse who actually is highly experienced and knows what she's doing and isn't gonna, you know, fuck up the medical practices instead of a sexy young nurse who can't find the fucking vein. Alright, I'm getting bored of this AI-generated jazz slop. The fact that I can't tell the difference between... Oh, maybe it's not jazz slop, actually. Oh, they actually have the names of the artist here, so I literally can't tell the difference between, who is Sullivan Sullivan Murphy? Is it a jazz or not? Okay, it is AI. I can't tell the difference between AI jazz and real jazz 100%. or at least get the stream muted, because video game music doesn't get muted, right? 1 hour of relaxing survival horror music. AI doesn't get copyright struck? Sure. So if I'm listening to actual jazz, I will get copyright struck. The fact that as soon as I post any kind of video game soundtrack, people are immediately recognize it, shows how mentally corrupted everybody in this stream is. Especially the streamer. I can't recognize video game soundtracks for shit. I have so little musical abilities. It's actually sad. Like, I don't understand how people can just listen to like 5 seconds of any kind of like soundtrack and just immediately recognize what it is. Sounds like you have 2 tracks running. I think that's just the Silent Hill soundtrack. Doesn't make me feel bad hearing you say that. I can actually play piano, but I can't draw to save my life. I'm probably the least musically talented person I've ever met in my life. I can't even clap on beat. It's interesting. Like, you know how in like musical situations where the crowd is expected to clap along with the song, and I can't even fucking do that. It was especially bad because I went to a private high school, which is like Rudolf Steiner education, and they expect everybody to engage in some form of like musical class, which was really bad for the other people in the class around me as well. The drum teacher tried to put me on cowbell, but I wouldn't be able to keep a fucking beat, so I would fuck everybody off, so he took me off cowbell. Just count to 1, 1 to 4, and clap on 4. It's not that hard, man. Look, man, I don't understand why I can't do it, but I can't. Have you guys played Parappa the Rappa? Because I have. And I couldn't beat it. Parappa the Rappa was too much music required out of me. It was too hard. I couldn't do it. Even I struggle with Parappa. It's strict. I don't know, man. It doesn't seem that hard. I just couldn't do it. I'm not talking about, like, getting perfects. I'm talking about, like, actually just, like, getting through the levels, you know? Not, like, talking about high scores or shit like that. Guy in front going to have Dragon Ball. So I was thinking, what is the most female thing anime-wise to consume? And I was like, in 2025, it's probably Osomatsu-san. I think I've seen more yaoi doujins for Osomatsu-san more than literally any other anime I've seen. At least in terms of ratio for female consumers or consumers versus like non-female consumers. If we're not counting like shoujo stuff, Osomatsu-san is definitely the #1 thing that I've ever seen in terms of just like endless amount of female consumerism. That's the Doraemon kid. See, this shows me that you're not a real female Coomer, Death Striker. Why is the guy in the front gonna wear a Dragon Ball white tee? This harmless microaggression offends me. If you can think of a more black otaku themed anime, I was actually thinking whether I should give him like maybe a Sasuke t-shirt or something instead. But I still feel like it might be Dragon Ball. Is it? The question is, in 2025, is the average black otaku wearing a Sasuke t-shirt, a Piccolo t-shirt, or it might even be Demon Slayer. I know the black fan base really simps for the blonde kid in Demon Slayer. Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is too, like, I don't know. People will appreciate it. People will be like, yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho mentioned. Dragon Ball, that would be funny as fuck. I still think it's Dragon Ball. I mean, when I go to Planet Fitness, there's one guy who works at the Planet Fitness front desk who is black, and he wears the Street Fighter Akuma wooden beads around his neck. So that's one guy, and another guy who doesn't work there but is just someone who comes to Planet Fitness to work out and lifts a bunch, has like 2 different customized Dragon Ball themed like tight muscle shirts that he wears. One is like, it has like the Kame Sennin, the Kame, I think this might be the opposite. No, it's this way. The Kame logo So it looks like the Goku Dogi, and the other one it looks like the Vegeta, this thing, you know, the blue fighting equipment, like the vest, the blue and white vest outfit. It's extremely unsubtle anime gear. The black otaku is canon. It's not just like canon, it's typical. I think in 2025, there's probably more black guys. Like, if we're talking about young black men, there's probably more that have some sort of history of consuming either one of the following: Dragon Ball, Naruto, or like Yu-Gi-Oh! Than those who haven't. I think it's actually hard to find black guys who don't know any kind of Japanese anime culture at this point. It wasn't that hard back in my day, but Toonami has had a devastating effect on the black communities. The black character's forearm is facing backwards, but his upper arm is facing forward. That's just the dots here that makes it look that way. It's like this. I guess it's the hair is incorrect. I wasn't really thinking much when I was applying all the hair. Also, I don't think you get much hair around the bicep, so I probably shouldn't have hair there. It's mostly a forearm thing. Yeah, it's the hair on the bicep is fucking it up, I guess, the way it looks. I cannot tell if it's because of Infinity Castle is everywhere or it's legit Demon Slayer is popular among certain groups. Demon Slayer is this generation's Naruto. People who like doing swing, swing, boing, swing, and pretending they are cool samurai warriors. If they were 14 back in the day, they would have been watching Naruto. But now they're watching Demon Slayer instead. It's that simple. To be honest, if 14-year-olds are going to be annoying about something, better that than Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is Konibyo, if you don't know. You have Chunibyo, which is second year of middle school disease in Japan, where you think that like doing your bankai super special ninja techniques is cool, and then Konibyo is second year of high school, where you think you're a fucking grown up, and you think all the shit that you thought was cool in middle school is stupid now, and you're just like, that's all fucking stupid. That's where Chainsaw Man comes in, because it's kind of like, it's a deconstruction of the shonen genre. So, except it was still in a shonen magazine. So all the people who were getting tired of shonen because they were like high schoolers or basically adults, but also weren't actually cultured enough to read something besides a shonen magazine, latched onto it because it was the first time they had read something that wasn't just like straight up Jump style shonen stuff. I was either watching Ghost in the Shell, Cowboy Bebop, or a little bit of Inuyasha. Two amazing all-time animes, and one anime slash manga that is not amazing in all time and goes on forever. Although I was also enjoying Inuyasha. Inuyasha starts off great, that's the thing. It legitimately has a lot of things that get you excited if like you're 14 years old. The problem is that it goes on forever. So if you were consuming it in real time, it was like, wait, I'm a fucking adult now and it's still going on. What the fuck? You didn't understand. If you were like 12 at the time, Inuyasha was like legitimately exciting in its early stages. Especially if you were my age, like, there was all this Ranma stuff in America at the time. So getting a new Takahashi Rumiko, like, people had already been introduced to Takahashi Rumiko at that stage when Inuyasha started. Because, like, Ranma was one of the first thing they were like, let's bring this to America for some reason was Ranma, so... Alright, should he have a Vegeta shirt or a Piccolo shirt? Let's go to Pinterest. Maybe they have some good Piccolo images. Needs a Piccolo aura farming pose. If I type Piccolo into Pinterest, one of the top 3 things is Piccolo aura farming. Professional aura farmer. Just aura farming all the time. People actually use Pinterest. Pinterest is full of AI slop now, but it's still useful. I wasn't using it until very recently. But it's still probably better than just going into Google Images. Also, I still use AI images in some cases, so it's not like they're entirely worthless to me, because a lot of the times when I'm looking for references, I'm just looking at like a combination of like belts and buckles and stuff like that to put on like fantasy clothing and shit like that. So even if all the image is like mangled in weird ways that AI produces, I can still be like, yeah, I could put a belt like diagonally or horizontally. Maybe I could try like this combination of capes and stuff like that. Like, so it's still useful for me, even if it's full of AI. Nothing wrong with AI, boys. I don't understand why everybody is so bothered by the 18 fingers on one hand. I don't know whether to give him the turban or not. The turban might be more iconic, actually. I also kind of like having him with his head exposed and showing the feelers as well, but... Man, Toriyama art is so hard to draw. There's something about, like, the proportions and shit that it's just really hard to draw. It feels different from any other art. If there's one artist that I would say you probably shouldn't spend too much time like copying, because it probably won't make you better, it's probably Toriyama. It's like he has like some kind of like genius aesthetic gene that if you don't have it, you're not really going to be able to use it. You can't really absorb it. Give Piccolo his turban. Bald Piccolo is not as cool. I do like bald Piccolo as well. I also like how Piccolo keeps on going through like these very brief moments in which he gets power-ups, and then it'll seem like he'll actually be relevant for the story, and then he immediately gets left behind by the power inflation like 5 chapters later. I guess you can say that the same for like most of Dragon Ball characters, especially Vegeta, but Piccolo I feel like it's extremely prominent. He'll always be like, yes, I am more powerful now. And then, like, he immediately gets fucking dumpstered, like, 5 chapters later. That's like trying to copy Kim Jong-gi. Yeah, especially if you're going to try and copy Kim Jong-gi's drawing process. Definitely don't do that. It's kind of meaningless. Nobody's going to give you extra points for being able to draw everything from imagination. That's Ten Xianhan, but 1,000 times worse. Ten actually had some moments in which he was helpful. Like in the Cell arc where he kept on shooting Cell with his Kikoho thing. And he actually was able to, you know, delay Cell from attacking or whatever. No one was like, Tenshin Han is gonna win this. He was just like trying to buy time. Whereas Piccolo would have arcs where he's like, Piccolo is powerful now. He's actually super powered. Holy shit. And it's like, then he's never relevant again. Piccolo is actually the most relevant as like the voice of reason when Goku is like, hey Gohan, go and fight. And then Gohan's like, no, wait, why? And Piccolo has to be like, Goku, you are the worst father of all time. He's literally the better. He's not only the surrogate father for Gohan, he's a significantly better father than Gohan's actual father. That's the funny part. It's fucking hilarious if you ask me. That's Toriyama writing for you. Goku died twice for his kid? Yeah, but he's still a horrible father. That's the funny part. Holy shit, we have Goku parenting defenders in chat. You're making it sound as if Goku is like a normal person who would never want to get in fights unless he was there to protect his son, when in fact he literally like just endlessly is starting shit with people because it makes him feel waku waku. To be fair to Goku, though, he does have his wife constantly getting angry at him if he tries and trains his son because she wants her son to become, like, what, an intellectual or something, so... Honestly, the entirety of Dragon Ball suffers greatly from main character syndrome, in which Toriyama keeps on trying to replace Goku as the main character, and then everyone's like, no, we still just like Goku, and then Goku has to come back for the millionth time. I'm not a huge Dragon Ball fan, so I can't even tell you why people like Goku so fucking much, but they really do. Also, you're making it sound as if, like, Goku was like, no, I don't want to die, but I have to do it for my kid. Goku is literally like, oops, guys, I think I'm gonna die. Sorry about that, LMAO. Goku is basically a psychopath, both in terms of his own life and the lives for others. He has insanely quotable quotes like, don't worry guys, even if millions of people die, we'll just bring them back to life with Dragon Balls and stuff like that. I never really thought about this until the internet came out, and then like the Japanese internet had noticed like what an insane psychopath Goku is. People love Goku because they were 12 and wanted to be all powerful when they saw DBZ. Both Goku and One Punch Man take the question of like the whole Spider-Man question of with great power comes great responsibility. So if theoretically, if you're all powerful, does that mean you have all responsibility for like everybody on the planet? Because Goku could probably save everybody on the planet if he wanted to. Like he could be flying around and like just defeating criminals and just like doing good shit nonstop. But One Punch Man and Dragon Ball take that formula of like, if I'm super powerful, do I have to like use that responsibility and be super good? And they're just like, LOL, LMAO. What if I took no responsibility at all? That's what makes it so funny. It's like, just don't care. Not only will I not like spend all my time trying to like protect people's lives and stuff, I will like actively start fights with like space gods because I want to get in fights. Goku's just a himbo, it's not that deep. But I don't think women actually lust after Goku, right? Goku is like a himbo for male fighting desire. What's this soundtrack? This is... Oh, it doesn't actually list it. I can't tell. Chi-Chi and Bulma wanted Goku. We're forgetting the fact that Bulma was so desperate for a man, she decided that she was going to go and collect the 7 legendary balls that will grant any wish, instead of, you know, using the fact that she's the richest person on the fucking planet and an ultra genius that can invent time machines and shit like that. There's more gay porn of Goku fucking Vegeta than hetero porn of him fucking Chi-Chi. Nobody wants to see Chi-Chi having sex, guys. Come on. Unless they're Giga Lolicone and they want to see her in her original 6-year-old, more like a 4-year-old steel bikini version. I'm sure there's more Lolicones who want that than adult version of her. God, Piccolo is so hard to draw. Toriyama art is so difficult. It just doesn't look right. It's weird. I guess the mouth is still too big. He takes so many aesthetic liberties with like proportions and stuff. Something about the eyebrows is weird. I mean, he doesn't have eyebrows. That's part of what makes it hard. He just has, like, you know, a skull shape. Hassan is still not banned. What, you guys actually thought he was going to get banned for his shock collar or whatever you guys were theorizing about? There's no way they can prove that shit. Yeah, the lines under the eyes. I also can't make it too like high definition because it's supposed to be a t-shirt pattern. So I'm gonna have to like distort the shape as well because this guy is fat, so the shape of the image is supposed to be distorted from the shape of his belly. But that might be too difficult. Hassan is one of Twitch's biggest draws, both in terms of fans and hate views. They will suspend him, but doubtful they'll outright ban him unless he straight up commits crimes. I see Hassan mentioned, like, in just, like, straight up boomer normie locations, like fucking New York Times, I think more than any other, like, Twitch personality, honestly. Like, they legitimately mention him in places like New York Times as, like, the future of democratic politics and shit like that, so... Maybe I should watch one of his streams. I've literally never seen one of his streams ever, so... Okay, that looks good enough. Honestly, I haven't seen the streams of most popular Twitch streamers, now that I think about it. I watched a little bit of Asmongold when he was about to drop World of Warcraft. I was watching him to see if he was actually going to drop World of Warcraft for Final Fantasy XIV, as someone who has played Final Fantasy XIV for a little bit. But of course he went back to World of Warcraft because I guess none of these World of Warcraft losers ever drop World of Warcraft under any circumstance. They're even worse than, like, Nintendies who buy Pokemon games. The New York Times article is written by a fanatic journalist who worships him, LOL. I didn't actually read it, but we can look it up right now. This will be a good laugh. Hassan. October 2nd. Hassan Piker is flirting with the revolution. Meet the online star who likes to play with fire. Hassan Piker has no filter. Or at least that's the sympathetic way to describe his marathon Twitch broadcasts, which cover everything from the war in Gaza to his workout regimen. He's a self-proclaimed anti-imperialist Marxist who's been called a Joe Rogan of the left and who's compared himself to Rush Limbaugh. And he keeps getting suspended from his platform, Twitch, for language that he calls hyperbole and other people call incitement. Is he the future of the American left? ? Part of our cycle of radicalization, or just another example of how the internet drives everyone insane? Oh, this was written by Ross Douthat, who is one of the many. Well, not many. There's only two. There's two of these basically right-wing Republican commentators on the New York Times, because the New York Times thinks they have to like legitimize themselves for middle America and like right-wing voters or something. I'm not sure why. And most of them spent their entire time being like, guys, Trump isn't that bad. What's really bad is liberals. Or guys, Israel isn't committing genocide in Gaza. Trust me. That's basically the point of both of their columns. Hassan Piker, welcome to interesting times. We are living in some interesting times, considering that is you, Ross Douthat, that is interviewing me for the New York Times. Who else would it be, man? This is a place for the interesting perspectives of our moment. I think that's what you represent. We're going to talk about the Hassan Piker worldview. We're going to talk about debates about political violence. I'm a little bit unique into this space because I cover politics. I do news and political commentary for the most part. Alright, that's enough, Hassan. I also don't really take much credits with anything that New York Times provides outside of Sudoku. Well, it's important to remember that the opinion columns, the editorial section of the New York Times, is literally an entirely different organization from the reporting side. Like, they don't have any kind of connection to each other. So if you see annoying ass editorial decisions in the opinion part, it really, you shouldn't worry about them. I trust New York Times for like actual news stories in which, you know, they have to do research on shit. Not like, you know, stupid stuff written by stupid people. I don't really need opinions. I already have enough opinions on the internet. I don't need a New York Times opinions. I think anyone who gets so extreme as Hassan is too far gone. Him shocking his dog is just more proof that he's evil. Anybody who streams on Twitch is evil, guys. I'm proof. Look at me drawing this racially offensive cartoon of a black nerd with a Piccolo shirt. Okay, that's a little too much distortion. Hassan Piker is a Marxist, Leninist, communist. As an anarchist, I desire to challenge his practice with hand-to-hand combat. Don't do it. He'd probably shock collar you. I mean, if Dr. Disrespect is still making a living off streaming, I'm pretty sure there isn't any sort of situation in which Hassan is going to get canceled just for, you know, his relatively mainstream and popular left-wing political views. Piccolo nose is fucked up. Sorry, Ball, but it is. The nose is off. Bro, stop caring about the nose angle of fucking Piccolo on a shirt of a character in a shit post, okay? It doesn't fucking matter. We're not trying to have the perfect Piccolo nose. That's not the point of this picture in the first place. It's the angle is slightly too straight, I guess, is what is driving you to make it feel like it's off. It's kind of sticking out a little bit more, I would say. That being said, Toriyama anatomy is so hard to get it look right. It's stylized in such a hyper-specific way. There's a reason why Dragon Ball Super always looks like it's wrong. Like Dragon Ball Super panels. You did not just take that bait. Bro, if there's one thing that I'm gonna do, it's redraw shit that I don't need to redraw. This is my greatest weakness. I was thinking of fiddling with the eyes a little bit more, honestly. Dragon Ball Super is like the textbook thing wrong with 2010's anime. I'm not even talking about anime. I'm talking about comparing the manga version of Dragon Ball Super to the manga version of Dragon Ball. Like, it just looks like maximum level Uncanny Valley stuff. And this is by someone who is specifically recruited by Toriyama, who's like, his artwork looks closest enough. Like, there's Boruto panels where it's like, especially early Boruto, where I think that it mimics the original author very closely. But Dragon Ball Super always looks incorrect. Like these arm muscles, for example. Toriyama has a way in which he messes with the biceps and triceps in a way that isn't how our muscles actually work, in a very specific way, and that's very different. He draws it like, it's almost like this. Like, he'll have the deltoid, and then he'll be like just like a square like that. The way it looks like in pen, it's just like almost like this, like that. It's so hard to get it to look right though. Oh, what's up? Funny thing is, if you ask the older guys, that they'll say communism was better because what we have now also sucks. I mean, we've never actually had like functional communism to any real degree on a national scale. It's basically impossible because for it to actually even exist in a semi-functional state, you'd have to have like the rulers implementing it to not be like extremely greedy and fucked up, which will never ever happen under any circumstance, so. It's basically the same as anarchism, anarchists. I had like a very serious anarchist in my high school. And when you actually ask them about the very like specifics about anarchism, you realize that it's like entirely a pipe dream. Because it just comes down to like a utopian view that like all forms of government are violence. And if when we have true anarchism, we won't need government because people just won't commit violence. And I'm like, that's really fucking stupid. That's never gonna happen. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Both communism and anarchism and a lot of these other more extreme isms Basically just ignore a lot of the uglier parts of human nature and hope that shit will work out, and it never does. Also, if we're talking about like actual Eastern Bloc USSR versions of communism, socialism, it's kind of a survivorship bias because the ones who got the worst parts of it literally disappeared, i.e. they like got sent to Siberia or they died from starvation or shit like that, so you can't really talk to them about it. Ask all the farmers how they feel about Mao's Great Leap Forward. Oh wait, you can't. They're all dead. And if they say anything negative about it right now, they will also be sent to the gulag. The state provided a level of certainty as long as they obeyed. That's why nowadays you're free to do whatever, but you hardly get anywhere. I guess? I mean... it depends what country you're in. If you're in Russia, you probably don't have any social services. What came later was also shitty. I mean, at least if you were in USSR during a certain period of time, you weren't being sent to Ukraine to die. Although I guess they still had wars in like Afghanistan and shit where you could also die, so maybe it's not that different. It's kind of hard to understand the mentality of Soviet bloc people because their tolerance for suffering is so much higher than like literally any other country. They're like, life is so bad, I will drink this shoe polish because I don't have access to vodka and then die. And then people are like, what a tragedy, I will also drink more shoe polish. It's like a different standard of living. No one is like, perhaps we should have a little less suffering. What I hear is we all had apartments, but apartments at what cost? Well, that's definitely something that we're not really having in America. No one's saying we all have apartments. We definitely do not all have apartments in America. They had something greater to believe in. The negatives tend to slip through the sands of time. Also, they're all alcoholics. That also helps. Extended alcoholism also helps you forget negative parts of your life. I'm sure we will all think back to the 2020s and think, wow, amazing times. You can know that we're living in shitty times right now when the Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids are reminiscing to the 90s and early 2000s, which they don't actually know about, and pretending that they're millennials. That's like, that's a warning sign, guys. If the younger generations aren't like, shut up, grandpa, I don't give a fuck about the 90s, but are like, oh man, the 90s were so great, that's a bad sign. I don't like this peach shape. You know, it really doesn't matter what the media write as long as you've got a young and beautiful piece of ass. But hey, Mr. BaalBuddy, I am so happy to see you live. I mean, look, I'm for it. Keep up the good work. If Hillary can stay out of jail, you can make it to the top of the manga industry. I can't tell why you highlighted that. And also, I can't tell if you're quoting something or not. Is this a epic internet meme I don't know about? I literally can't tell. Feels like a shitty copy pasta. I'm assuming it is. Most of stuff that Constrictor posts is shitty copy pasta, so... I tried to make my own pasta. I prefer the old stale ones. Someone posted Navy SEAL copy pasta. Although I guess if you do, I guess it has like banned words in it, so you probably can't. I think it had a bunch of F-bombs in it. What the fuck did you just fucking say about me, you little bitch? I'll have you know I graduated top of my class in the Navy SEALs, and I've been involved in numerous secret raids on Al-Qaeda, and I have over 300 confirmed kills. I am trained in guerrilla warfare, and I'm the top sniper in the entire U.S. Armed Forces. It's a Trump quote. Unfortunately, Trump is not that eloquent. Sadly. Imagine not being trained in guerrilla warfare in 2025. You're fucking dead, kiddo. We really need to go back to a time in which everybody claimed that they were a Navy SEAL online without any kind of understanding that the person on the other end might doubt their words and make fun of them for it. There was a beautiful innocence in the early internet where people actually were like, they don't know who I am, I'll just claim I'm a Navy SEAL. Hold on, I have to make sure that you can see this guy's underwear. Also, we need to go back to Xbox Live, in which when you insulted someone, there would be like, you, me, private lobby now. One-on-one, search and destroy me. To show who's a better Modern Warfare player right now. Rust, bro. No shotguns. That's right. What was the container shipping one? I can't remember. That was in Modern Warfare 1, right? I can't remember what it was called. It was just like a bunch of fucking container crates in like a fucking tiny-ass map. Is the middle a guy or a girl? You can't tell. She's too flat. I don't think I actually need to 11 these over the maximum. Gave her bushy eyebrows too. I wanted to accentuate the fact that she has given up on grooming herself because she's too deep in her gay Fujoshi hole and has given up on courting real life human beings. Many such cases. Her fingers are too short. I'm getting really sick of you fucking amateur artist critiques telling me how I should or shouldn't draw characters, you stupid fucking cucks. Okay? This is supposed to be a simple cartoon, okay? Are you gonna tell Simpson characters that they only have 4 fingers on a hand? Because that's basically what you're doing. I was referencing your female Coomer design. Shut up. I don't actually remember any of my characters, okay? I forgot that I drew a female Coomer like 2 years ago. I'm not gonna remember any kind of references to my own art. That left guy is too handsome. No anime fan is that good looking. I was kind of worried about that as well, but I don't feel like redrawing him. I made him as skinny as possible to compensate for his good looks. Just make his hairline a bit higher. I guess that's acceptable. He still is a little handsome, honestly. I like previous hairstyle better. It's okay. We'll just have him be guy that could be... I mean, it goes for the same. Both the female and the black guy could also be attractive if they took care of themselves or lost weight or something. That's the power of being otaku. Even if you have potential to not be horribly ugly, you can still maintain your ugliness by not caring because you're too deep in your anime. The girl losing weight, the black guy lose weight, and the girl has to gain some weight, I would say. You know the car Christine from Stephen King book movie by John Carpenter? You think she'd have to deal with gooner culture these days? People would probably try to fuck the car, yeah. I was masturbating yesterday to a woman getting fucked by orcs. And I just realized that the concept of orc rape was super outdated because modern gooner females are all waiting to be abducted by big, sexy, muscular green men and being used as breeding slaves of their sexy, muscular green orc captors. Monster rape just isn't what it used to be. It's very difficult to imagine like some sort of barbaric male stand-in or even tentacles and stuff, which modern female gooners would be like, no, I don't want to carry your child. Horse girls. Is this Final Fantasy 12? What is this soundtrack? No, it's Ogre Battle. I've never played Ogre Battle, actually. I also got tired of Final Fantasy. Actually, I haven't touched Final Fantasy Tactics. And what's the third one that I actually played? Not Ogre Battle, not Final Fantasy Tactics. Fuck, now I'm blanking. This was the game I actually played. So yeah. Oh, it's Tactics Ogre. For some reason I was thinking that I didn't play Ogre Battle, but then like I couldn't come to the conclusion or remembrance that the game I actually played also had Ogre in it for some reason. I played Tactics Ogre, and it never really clicked. Will you watch one battle after another before you leave the States? No, it's too long, and I'm not going to the movie theaters. There's a high chance it will be available on the plane based on my previous experience in how quickly they port new movies to from the theaters. So I will just watch it on the plane, and if it's not on the plane, that's also fine. Would you fuck a Bugatti? European cars aren't very durable. I'd be worried if I fucked a European car, I'd break it. I only would fuck American steel trucks, built Ford tough. Stay in Japan permanently, come crawling back to mommy once the renovations are done. I don't know. Depends how much rent I'm being forced to pay. I might just move within Japan. There's a high chance that my mother will just get rid of like all the living space in which I want to live. In which case I won't have any place to go back to, so... What is she gonna put in there? An Airbnb or a cat playground? She will just make it to another one of her studies. She's one of those people that, you know, fills everything up with her shit. And then she's like, why is this area full of my shit? I have to use a different room that's not full of my shit because I can't think like this. And then she will fill the next room up with her shit, and she'll be like, damn, this room is now full too. I can't think with this. I have to enter a new room, and then she'll fill that up with her shit, and so on. Sounds like Americanized immigrant mom behavior. Yeah, probably. I don't know. She wouldn't be able to get away with that shit if she was in Japan, that's for sure. I would like to live in Hokkaido, honestly. The problem is that if you go north in Japan right now, you're gonna get murdered by bears. Not even a joke. The bears are fucking out of control. Golden Kamui reference. Golden Kamui seemed worried that the Japanese would like kill all the bears and we wouldn't have bears, but the opposite is happening. The bears are killing all the Japanese at this point. The bears are not fucking around. They're kind of winning the war right now. What bears does Japan have? Brown bears? They have brown bears and black bears. Both of which can murder you pretty easily. They did hunt all the wolves to extinction, but not the bears, and we have plenty of bears around. Hokkaido just sounds too damn cold. I like wide open spaces to some degree. The number one thing I miss when I'm in Japan is having access to like space, and Hokkaido actually has space. But if I want to be a successful mangaka, I might have to go to Tokyo, whether I like it or not, unfortunately. You can still do a bunch from like non-Tokyo areas now because a lot of it is digital, but I don't know, I might have to go to Tokyo, I'm not sure. I don't really want to be in Tokyo though. I think brown bears are the scary ones, black bears are the ones that you can scare away. Japan has these, you probably have seen the Pokemon. It's called like Tsukino Waguma, which is, it means like crescent moon bears, which are kind of black bears, but they're relatively big. Tsukino Waguma bear. Asian black bear. Look at this flufferino. Look at this good boy. There's no way that this cutesy wootsy flufferino little boy would ever fucking tear your face off now, would he? He's just a cutesy wootsy flufferino bear boy. So these are more south, and then up north there's plenty of brown bears as well. And they will both murder you, I guess. I thought it was the opposite. No, black bears are. She's right that black bears are the ones that you can scare off more. In fact, you can probably scare off brown bears as well, actually. Most wild animals don't want to get in fights if they don't have to, but when they start learning that people taste good, then that might change. Part of the problem is that human food tastes good, so they're going to start coming down into the, you know, human populated areas to eat our garbage and shit. Even the bears want the Japanese KFC. Japanese KFC just better than American KFC. It really do be like that. Have there been any manga anime about gun-based martial arts? There's probably been quite a few now that I think about it. I don't know. I can't name off any off the top of my head, but anything that mainstream, there's probably been a few at this point. There's Musashi Gundo, famous for being one of the worst anime of all time. It had like an absolute zero budget. People complaining about One Punch Man's animation frames not being good enough. You all need to watch the classic low-budget anime. Where did I even put my music over here? Look at that insane animation, boys. That was an infamous panel right here. It's hard to understand what's going on if you don't know Japanese, but it's also hard to understand even if you do know Japanese. So while he's shooting, at this moment he says, "Uo mabushi," which is, it's too bright. But I guess they forgot to insert the part where the enemy emits light. So he just says, it's too bright, out of nowhere. It is still a meme to this day. Look at that gun martial arts right there. The greatest anime of our times. $1.6 million views, by the way. We'll never have another anime like this. I like how much they've used this, these just photo trees that they paste everywhere. This is made by Monkey Punch, by the way, the original one. The author of Lupin III. Damn, this budget. Okay, that's enough, Musashi Gundo. You all laughing. An innocent man is forced to scream his favorite movie at gunpoint while three people uses 90s internet and you are laughing. Man, there's a lot of Musashi Gundo clips. It was truly a beloved anime. Nico Doga. Alright, I'm going to end the stream. I have to go run at 7 p.m. See you around, boys. Have a nice night. Good night, guys. Still animated better than DBS? Yeah, well, maybe.